So once you see this, you're not going to be able to unsee it. Now, you have beliefs that are buried deep down inside that you feel are actually facts. Like, I can't stop drinking, or I'm going to be like this forever. Maybe you said, I've already ruined my relationship or ruined something in my life, or I can't imagine never drinking again. That was a big one for me. These thoughts don't feel like opinions, they feel like truth to you. And that weighs on you, like something that is true about you. But here's what I want you to hear and maybe understand today: they're not facts. Those are stories that you're simply telling yourself. And you've been telling yourself this over and over and over again. So those stories, they feel real. They feel like background noise of your own life. And as long as those stories run the show, nothing is going to change for you because you can't outwork a belief that says you're broken. You're not going to be able to willpower your way past a story that says who you are. So, really, what do? You don't argue with it. Don't argue with that belief. You don't try to convince yourself that it is wrong. That does not work. What works is proof. You need evidence that your story is not true, not theory, not hope. Proof that you can see with your own eyes. Let me kind of show you what I mean here. So, every time someone drinks, there's a very simple equation, and it's running in the background. And it's desire plus opportunity plus weakness equals drinking. That's it. There's three dials. Desire is how much you want it in that particular moment. Opportunity is whatever is available or whatever you can get to. And then weakness is your mental, emotional, and physical state. When all three of those are high, you will drink. But here's what can change that: you don't have to even move all three dials. You just have to move one. If you can lower the desire, the equation breaks. If you remove the opportunity, the equation breaks. Build strength where there was weakness, and the equation breaks again. I'm talking about one dial. That's all that it really takes. And here's where those embedded beliefs really start to crack. If you can control the outcome just one time, I'm telling you, one time, but it has to be intentional actions, then you're going to prove that your story is wrong. I can't stop becomes I stopped once. I have no control becomes I controlled it on Tuesday or Thursday. And if you can do it once, here's the thing: if you can do it once, it is repeatable. And you can do it as many days as you want after that. This is where reality starts to become more clear. The fog is going to lift. You start seeing yourself very differently. Not because someone told you to think positive or say these positive affirmations, but because you have evidence in your hands, proof that the old story was wrong. Now, here's the part that makes this actually work. This is not guesswork. It is modeled behavior. You're not inventing something new. You're looking at people who have already figured this out, not people that talk about it or think about it or read about it, but people who have figured it out, people who do it every day. And more importantly, you're studying the who behind those decisions. That's the identity that they built. How do they think? What's their relationship with desire? How did they remove opportunity? Where do they build strength or get strength from? And then we just implement it for you. We take what works for them and we make it work for you. Your life, your situation, above all, your circumstances, because everybody's circumstance is different. That's what's so fun about this. I really enjoy it. It's not even a mystery anymore. It's not hoping things get better someday. It's actually a system. And systems work when you do them, when you work through them. Now, none of this is going to happen in a vacuum. To change belief that deep, you need way more than just simply information. You need an ally, and I talk a lot about allies. And I don't mean a cheerleader when I say ally. Someone who tells you you're doing great. Your mom can do that. Someone who agrees with everything you say. Your friend can do that. That's not an ally. That won't help you change. A real ally tells you the truth, calls you out when you're lying, will call bullshit if they have to, but they hold you accountable with what you said you wanted. A real ally is a confidant. What you share stays safe. Even ugly truths stay safe. The stuff that you've never said out loud, protected. A real ally counsels you and gives you feedback, not with theory, with stuff that works. Practical steps that you can take today that will help you. That's what they share. And a real ally is kind of the guy, the saying, a ride or die person. When you say, I need you, they say, I'm on their way. No questions, no hesitation. I am on my way. That's what it takes to rewrite a story that deep that you've been telling yourself for too long. Truth, accountability, safety, practical help, practical feedback, and someone who is willing to go with you. So if you're sitting there right now thinking, I've tried everything, this is just who I am, I can't imagine ever being different, I'm telling you, that's the story you're talking. It's not the truth, and it doesn't have to be the truth. If you can move one dial, one time, on purpose, like I said, intentional, you can do it again and again and again. The belief, it starts with a crack. A new story takes its place, and that new story becomes the water that you start to swim in. You don't need more willpower. You do not need to hit rock bottom. And if you think you have, that's okay too. You certainly do not need a label. You need proof that the old story was simply wrong. And you need someone in your corner with you while you find it. If you want to go deeper on this, I did put together the 7-day alcohol correction system. Go ahead, go grab it. It's at no cost right now. And as far as the dials formula, think about how to move the dials on purpose, how to build a life where this stuff just doesn't have, well, where it really just doesn't have any space anymore. If you want to go through that a little bit, there's a link in my bio, or you can just reach out to me on my phone number. You don't have to figure this out alone. That's really the whole point of this. That's why I'm uncomfortable speaking into a camera, because you can do it and there's people here to support and help you. And I know that you can find an ally.